So today we'll discuss about like one of the important topic in Citrix administration that is called as Citrix policies. So we are going to manage virtual apps and desktops with the Citrix policies. The administrator can gain the control over how the user experience can be delivered, the performance of the servers, desktops, session, and even how the security can be provided to those users. All this we can control through the Citrix policies. So Citrix policies, like in the Windows, we have like AD group policies, we have our local security policies, we have in the same way at the Citrix level, like we have some set of rules and which can be controlled how the sessions can behave in the Citrix environment. And even if we don't apply any policies also, by default we have the default policy. The default behavior the user is going to get depends upon the requirement. We need to customize the behavior, and mostly the administrator should have the knowledge what is the default behavior also we should have the knowledge, because if you know the default policies, as per that we can customize if any user requirement comes. That means we need to understand what is the default behavior. Means if I don't apply any policy, what is the behavior I'm going to get it. Okay. So with that, what is the advantage is if the user comes with that requirement, we can tell yes, by default that policy is there. You don't need to do anything. If that is not required, then we will get it. Like we need to modify that behavior. Okay, so then some of the examples I'll tell. Say we want to restrict some users to perform copy or cut copy, like paste kind of operations. Those kind of operations are called as Citrix, sorry, clipboard operations. I want to restrict that, like by default, clipboard operations are allowed. I don't want to give. Then I want to restrict those. Or for some of the users, I don't want to give USB devices. I want to block that USB device redirection. Or I want to timeout sessions. I want to restrict. Or I want to improve the audio quality. Or maybe I want to give like printer kind of redirections. All these we can define by using the policies. So policies will balance the user experience, system performance, and security. All that we can control. Okay. So mostly we can use Citrix policies can be created from the studio, or we can integrate even with the AD group policies also by importing those group policy ADMX templates. Okay, so nowadays, we are preferred to use from the Citrix Studio. Okay, so now see here we have yeah, come to that policies. By default, we are getting that unfiltered policy, right? What is that meaning of unfiltered policy? Is that is applied to all the connections. And what is the priority of that? The priority is one we have given. That means that is the highest priority. If we don't do anything also, okay, say automatically this unfiltered policy is applied to all the connections. Okay, we can create the filtered policies based on the user groups or IP addresses. We can choose them. Then always, if you have any conflict of policies, always the higher priority wins. If you have any conflict, always the higher priority policies are going to win. Okay, so come to that unfiltered policy settings.
Here mean one.
Yeah, that is the priority is a high priority. If
One is
one,
high
two
priority.
is there, one is having high priority.
Okay.
Okay, come to that settings. No, no, settings there in the unfiltered policy itself. Edit that policy, right side. Yeah, yeah, there also. So now Like these all the different policy settings we have. So in the alphabetical order, they have given these settings. Okay, and by default, we can see whether that policy has been enabled or disabled. Okay, so here, what is the default behavior for active write back? What is that default behavior? Third policy,
Okay.
disabled. Okay, so,
Disabled. Okay.
so like this here for every policy, there would be the default behavior. Okay, say go to scroll down. So come to all settings here. Yeah, choose audio. So here we can set which type of settings. Now here I want to give audio plug and play. Okay. So by default that is allowed. That means if the user connects on the client side audio device, that audio can be streamed. I don't want to give the audio. Then you can disable that. Okay. By default, what is the default behavior? What is the default behavior for the audio plug and play?
Hello.
By default that is allowed, but like if I have more audio devices have been allowed and more bandwidth has been given, what is the impact to the session? What is the impact to the session?
Disable all.
It will take more bandwidth. Then if the bandwidth is the constraints, better to disable. But if you disable on the unfiltered policy, what is the risk? If you disable to unfiltered policy itself, if you apply, what is the risk here? It would be applied to all connections. Okay, so that is the reason don't do like this. So when you need to modify the unfiltered policy is for all connections you want to apply, then do it. Otherwise, directly don't edit unfiltered policy. So we need to create our own policy need to be created. Okay, come to audio quality. Come to that audio quality. Third one, third rule. Select that.
Which one? Third one.
The third one. Audio quality is there.
Yes, auto.
Just scroll up. Yeah, now if I give the high audio quality, again more bandwidth will consume. How some of the users are from the remote locations. For those users, I don't want to give high quality. I want to give audio plug and play, but I want to give like maybe medium something that I can choose here. Got it right? That means for some users I want to give high quality, for some users I want to give low quality. That's possible by settings. Say suppose even in your mobile also we have the settings, right? The settings are the Citrix environment, like we can use the policies. Okay, so cancel this, create a new policy, and we are going to create a filters. That means on the selected users or selected delivery group or at the OU level, we can create the policies. Cancel this.
Oh, yeah, sir.
Yeah,
Maybe
if other missions
new
are there,
policy
shut down
create.
as of now. Gen server, those all shut down. Citrix PBS, all those shut down as of now.
This year.
No, no, DC should be there. Okay, so now I hope you understand the unfiltered policy, right? Unfiltered policy by default Citrix is providing, and all the users, all the sessions, connections getting this policy. And for most of the settings, we have the default behavior, and that behavior all the user sessions are getting. And if you don't want that default behavior as per your business, we can apply on some set of users, some set of OU, some set of delivery groups, some set of like IP address range, or we can filter based on whether the user is connecting through internal or external users. Based on these filters, we can apply the policies. For that, we are creating a filtered policy. By default, what we are getting is unfiltered, and it's not recommended to change the unfiltered policy because that would be applied to all. Then for whom we need to create for them create a policy, create a new policy. So now here we can choose those settings. Okay, so here we can choose the settings we can choose. Okay, so go to go to uh, yeah, scroll down that, search for clipboard. In the search for the clipboard, CL, yeah, board. Yeah, client clipboard redirection. By default, what is that? By default, what is that behavior?
Allowed.
Allowed. Okay, yeah, search that. Select that, disable that one. I don't want to give the clipboard operations.
Prohibited.
Yeah, audio also disable. Audio plug and play. Okay, so by default, search for USB. By default, USB devices are prohibited. USB device redirection. By default, that is prohibited itself. I don't want to allow that. Okay, yeah, okay, choose. Search for Twain devices, TWAIN. So Twain devices means scanners, or maybe like video cams. So those kind of devices are called as Twain devices. Yeah, select that. By default, those are allowed.
What is to and do?
So scanners or video cams,
Hmm.
handy cams would be there, right?
Yeah.
So those kind of devices are called as Twain devices. So I don't want to allow that also. Prohibit them. So by default, USB devices are by default prohibited. Remaining all are allowed. Okay, but as per that, my requirement is like that user have some bandwidth constraints. I don't want to allow all this. If I don't allow these all these, what is going to happen is no no
Play on.
choose for HDX, a high definition experience.
HG adapter. Default preferred.
By default, like HDX, what is the advantage of enabling the HDX is like the graphics and all those can be delivered in a better way. Okay, so by default, by enabling the H3X, Okay, so what is the advantage is the experiences can be delivered, more experience can be delivered to the users. Okay,
Why it is not configured?
so go to that setting. By default, that is allowed is there, right?
Yeah, preferred. Yeah.
Yeah. So then go for this one, client drive mapping. So client drive mapping, C drive, D drive of the client devices also we can access that. Client drive mapping. Yeah, client drive redirection is there, right? No, no, mapping remove, map remove, only clip client drive.
Drive redirection.
A client drive redirection. That means the C drive, D drive, all those also we are going to manage those.
Allowed. It is already allowed.
Yeah, by default that is allowed. If you don't want to give, then we need to disable those. Okay.
Then
So I want to
the
give the client drives, but fixed drives means
out.
fixed drive means hard disk drives, floppy drives. Network drives means mapped drives. Optical means DVD. Okay, removable drives. So only fixed drives I want to give. Remaining I want to disable. Here we can disable all those.
Removable drives. Read
Okay,
only.
and preserve client drive letters means what is that on the client side? If I have Z drive, the same drive it tries to map it. Okay,
Yeah, which is this one?
so by default we are keeping client drive redirection, but if the bandwidth is the constraint, then better to disable. If I disable this client drive redirection, if I open an application, I can't open from my local disks. Say in C drive I have a Word document. If I disable this, I can't open that drive. If it is in floppy, I can't open that from the floppy. I can't open that. I hope you
This
got
is
it right.
this drive is
On
if
the
user will
client side, say suppose assume user is connected from his laptop. He has his resume in in his D drive. Okay, and he open that application where that application is running. That is running on the remote server, virtual desktop. It is running. Then,
yeah.
if you open file, open that D drive need to be displayed or not. We are configuring.
Okay.
Okay, by default, what is the behavior?
Allowed.
Allowed. If I disable fixed drives, then he don't get C drive, D drive like that. If I disable floppy, he can't access that client device floppy. If we disable network drives, he can't access those. Optical
Yeah,
means DVD, CD drives.
removable USB, right?
Yeah, removable external kind of devices.
Yeah, redirection,
That is for all that is need to be allowed or not.
all type of
All things. Okay. So if we disable that, remaining all doesn't work.
okay.
Okay, I'm enabling this, but disabling maybe floppy drives, network drives, optical drives, removable drives, I'm not allowing. So these all not in this way itself we need to customize. Depends upon the client requirement, we need to our user requirements and user bandwidth, we are choosing that.
For your for desktop, accessing very faster. What
If
will
the
be the
user experience, but business requirement also because they want to save something on the C drive means it's not possible to save it, right?
yeah.
So it depends upon the business requirement, we need to apply these policies. Okay. Next, search for desktop wallpaper. The desktop
Okay.
wallpaper also by default is allowed. But if the bandwidth is a constraint, what we can choose?
Disable it.
Prohibited. Okay. So this is also one of the important policy. Then choose visual effects. There is no visual effects. Or uh, themes. THEMAS. No, themes. Okay, we'll choose that in the HDX. In the drop down, all settings come to HDX. All settings are there, right? That drop down second version. Scroll down. Yeah, the
Graphics.
graphics. So here we can restrict even the memory limit also, because if the like a graphic compression mode we can choose. Okay, so that means if I compress more, the user experience is going to be reduced. Okay, so if the bandwidth is a constraint, disable all these. If you disable all these, user experience is not that much good. But for the WAN users, we are choosing, say suppose I have one remote office, their bandwidth is not good. There we are going to restrict all this. Okay. So then we have the settings related to this one, session reliability search. So if the session, like even if any network interruption happens within a duration of like 180 seconds, the session is going to connect. Session reliability.
All.
Yeah, session reliability connection. By default, that is allowed. So what is that meaning is, if any of the session has been disconnected, say suppose I went to lift, my Wi-Fi connection lost, then the session is not going to close. The session is waiting for reconnection. By default, if you allow, okay, so that's then if the network has been retained within 3 minutes, the session is automatically is going to continue. Okay, for that we are going to enable session reliability. Okay, we are going to enable session reliability. We are enabling. Okay, keep it allowed. So if we don't want session reliability, we are going to restrict that. And what is the default port number for session reliability is ICA connections are using 1494, but for the reconnection over the session reliability, it is using the port number is 2598. And what is the session reliability timeout duration is 3 minutes. So you want to keep for 4 minutes like that, here you can modify. But 180 seconds is the best recommended setting from Citrix. Okay, so if you want to modify that, if you don't, the users don't want the session reliability, then we need to restrict that. Okay,
Reliability means, session timeout time.
If the network disconnects
Hmm.
within 3 minutes, that's going to be connected. Okay, there is one more feature also, auto client reconnect.
Auto.
Auto client reconnect, that is also by default enabled.
Yes, this one.
Yeah, say here for every policy, just go through the description also. Okay,
Allows everyone's
yeah,
automatic
by default,
reaching.
this setting also is recommended to enable itself. Okay, then keep it session timeout. If any of the disconnected sessions are there, how much time we need to? Yeah, auto client, no, not auto client. Go to session timeout. Say in our mobile, TV also we have lot of settings. All those we don't use, but we need to have a knowledge on those. Session timeout,
90 seconds.
not session reliability, or that is 180 seconds. Just search for timeout.
Connection time.
The listener timeout. Select that. So this is for 2 minutes we have. So you want to increase that, we can increase. So that is the wait time, like within the 2 seconds, sorry, within the 2 minutes, the session need to be connected. Otherwise, at the time of launching, that's not going to connect. If any of the applications have been facing more time than that, user is continuously getting session timeout error. In order to avoid that one, we are increasing this time. We are increasing this time. We are increasing. Okay, and we can keep the control over the complete bandwidth also. That means for each like for audio this much bandwidth, for ICA round trip this much bandwidth, for the like clipboard this kind of bandwidth, for the USB this kind of bandwidth. All those also we can choose. Search for bandwidth. So that means for each virtual channel, how much bandwidth we can give also, we can keep the control. Okay, so for each virtual channel, how much bandwidth cap you want to give, only use this bandwidth itself. That means your bandwidth is restricted. You have only 5 Mbps of data. Then among that, how much for each virtual channel you want to restrict, that also we can choose it. That also we can choose that by configuring those bandwidth. Like we can enable those kind of settings. We can enable. Okay, so for each virtual channel, we can restrict how much bandwidth can be given to the users. Okay, so it depends upon your business requirements. So I have some uh, uh, like call center employees. For them, audio is more important. Then for audio, I'll give more bandwidth because their audio quality should be good. Okay, so like this here, depends upon the requirement. We can give the cap of how much bandwidth we want to restrict, how much limit we need to give. So those all we can choose it. Okay, for each virtual channel, if we give zero, what is going to happen is it won't get that bandwidth. That is risky to use. Okay. So maybe give that maybe 100 kbps like that you can choose.
If you give more, it will
If we
take
give
all
very
the.
high, then again like all the bandwidth goes to this virtual channel itself. But for the user, say suppose if it is a task like a call center employee, audio is important for him. Then for those, I'll give more audio. For some other users, audio is not that much important. Then I'll reduce that.
By testing, we can choose more.
Yeah, we can restrict that. Or we can give the cap, this bandwidth only we need to use. Okay, depends upon the users, target users, we can allocate them how much bandwidth they want. Okay, don't choose 100, so maybe 100 kbps like that you assign.
kbps also value no.
Yeah, that is in the kbps. If you want to give in the MBs, that calculate as per that. So for each virtual channel, we can give the bandwidth like this. Scroll down for overall session also we need to give. Overall session bandwidth.
Overall, yeah, type
Overall
here.
means for the remaining after virtual channels, what is the overall like for the remaining connections for all those? Okay, so it depends upon our requirement. These all the different virtual channels in the ICA. For each virtual channel, we can restrict the bandwidth also. Which one is important? Which one is not important? According to that, we are going to set up the bandwidth. So for clipboard also, you can restrict that.
Here.
For each virtual channel, we are going to control those bandwidths. We are going to control. Okay. Yeah. Come back.
Mostly user cancellation, right?
Yeah, yeah. So like
Cancel,
this. Yeah. Come again.
no, cancel or what?
Yes, yes. Select some policies. Apply them. Disable or disable.
Hold.
Yeah, active write back. So which if it is disabled, try to enable that like that. Do it.
Uh, Control panel, try. Control
Yeah.
panel also there.
Second, I'm getting. Apply some.
Graphics. I'm talking about this composition. Desktop graphics for for logging directly. We can see directly. This one.
Yeah, choose some settings.
Disrupt one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Apply.
then once we select those policies, we need to apply the filters. Go to next. So what is the meaning of the filters are like on which users or devices that policy need to be applied? Because already unfiltered policy is there for all the users and all the connections that is applied. But we have a special requirements on the specific users or maybe specific connections we want to apply those filters, and that is the purpose we are creating our own policies, and we need to select those our settings, and here we need to select those on which user or mission objects that filters need to be created. Okay, so now here we have that different type of, mostly in the real time we are going to create an active directory, like in the active directory one OU would be there. To that OU you are going to apply. Okay, otherwise we can search based on the like a branch, like maybe we can filter based on the client name or range of client IP addresses ranges I know. Okay, so then delivery group level. Okay, so based on the endpoint client version. So here we have the different type of policies we have. Mostly we are going to use, mostly we are going to use Active Directory OU. Already OU is there. Go to that OU, assign that. See, these all the different filters we have. Yeah, here we can search that OUs what we have. Browse that. So from the AD we are getting those OUs or users also. Like you create a OU there. That OU we can assign.
So create one
Yeah,
OU for
so from the AD we need to create a OU. That OU, in that OU we have the users and groups. That filtering, that means, say suppose assume we have Hyderabad OU. To the Hyderabad OU we are assigning that. Okay, otherwise cancel that. Go to delivery group. We have one more filter called delivery. Cancel this also. So we have one more filter is delivery group. That particular delivery group I want to give. Yeah, already we have created those delivery groups, right? For that, I want to give apply these policies. Okay, so just go. So what is the meaning of filtering? Is these settings I want to apply on this, like users, on this OU or on this client range, on this client name. Like this, we can choose.
particular group, particular
Yeah,
OU
those
can
two, like delivery controllers only, sorry, delivery groups we have. Choose one. Okay. Okay. Next. Yeah, finish. So policy we have given policy 0. Okay, come to overview. So this priority is
2.
2. If this priority is 2, what is going to happen is still that users are getting the
One client.
unfiltered policy itself. Then try to enable that higher priority to that.
This one. Enable policy.
Yeah.
Just enable. Yes, enabled.
Yeah, that give the higher priority to that because unfiltered itself.
Edit this one.
No, not editor. Already, if you want to change the settings, then we need to go for that. Go to that policy 0,
Yes.
higher priority. Edit policy below is there, higher priority.
Here.
Then that policy got high priority. For the delivery group only, this policy applies. For remaining all,
For different groups, different OU, we can give higher priority for everyone for separating.
yeah, remaining all unfiltered will be coming.
Unfiltered will be common for everyone.
Yeah, but the higher priority is for the delivery group, policy 0 works.
Okay. What we have configured as per user.
Okay, so then like here we have the templates also. Come to the templates. So what is the meaning of templates are like these all the pre-configured settings. Okay, so these settings Citrix has given these recommendations. Okay, so that means my requirement is high server scalability. That means servers need to accommodate more number of users. Okay, or I want to apply to the users who are connected over a WAN. That means those are the from remote offices they are connecting. Then for those users, I want to restrict most of the settings. Okay, and they have like a optimized for those and optimized for WAN. Okay, so scroll down those settings. So these all the different templates. Scroll down. Yeah, security is more important for me. Then these policies I'll choose. So check those settings. So that means even if have time, just go through these settings. That means if you want to secure these, then auto client reconnection, what I'm doing, I have enabled. Okay, so but by default, I have disabled here. Okay, so then audio create client printers, I'm not allowing to create. Means for the security, these settings are applied. Okay, so this like from this template, if I want to apply to those users, then create a policy from the template.
A client printers, what is this? Auto create client printers.
These are the recommended settings. Say right side, create a policy from the template.
No, what is the meaning of this?
Create
What
a
you what,
policy from template.
no, from here?
Yeah. That means what is the meaning of templates are Citrix recommendations they're giving depends upon the different user requirements. Okay. So that means those are the best practices suggested by
Citrix.
those are the best practices suggested by Citrix. Okay. So from those templates also we can directly create the
From
policies we
template.
can create by default.
If you want, we can change from here
Yes,
also.
yes, we can change that also. Say suppose I don't want all the settings from the same template only. Then you can modify those.
Like, can we copy this and create our for us?
Come again.
Can we copy this template?
That's already copied itself. The settings all came from there.
Uh-huh.
You want to
Okay,
modify, then you can modify here. Modify default settings and add more.
from here.
Second option is there, right? Here you can modify those settings. So what is the concept of templates are? Like instead of choose those options, like AWS itself is recommending those options for us. Depends upon our requirements.
Can we create our own template?
Come again?
Own template. Can we create
No,
our
no. Citrix is giving those templates. You can create the policies and you can convert that into template. So here we can create our own templates. We can create.
in template? We can add.
Yes, yes. That others can use that.
Okay.
So your settings or your architect may give that. Depends upon our that automatically we can create those policies from the templates.
Choose policies from there. Uh,
Create
Everything
policy
will be
from the
ready.
template. Yeah.
And
But these templates has been given by Citrix only. Okay, so the last template is I have bandwidth is not at all a constraint for me. I want to deliver a high user experience. I want to give. Okay, if I want to give high user experience, bandwidth should be good. If bandwidth is a constraint, then I'll restrict most of them. Okay. So then we have one more that modeling wizard is there. So modeling wizard, like we can simulate those, what are the policies we are getting, those we can simulate. Go to that modeling,
where
fourth option, templates, comparison, modeling in the policies itself. No, no, right side. in the policies, we have modeling wizard. So launch that mod. So even in the group policies in the AD also we have a AD group policy modeling wizard. So now here we can simulate what is the resultant set of policy we are going to get it. Yes. Next filter that. Next. So we can choose the user. What is the user behavior we are getting? For troubleshooting also we would be using that. Whether that policy has been applied or not, we can check it through that group policy. Modeling wizard we can run it.
Actually, mostly where we
So choose one particular user.
user
Okay.
is not showing.
Click OK. So they're not chosen the select that
User
user. No, no.
user.
Just search for that.
No incomplete function.
Yeah, that particular user, what is the behavior we are getting? We can get that. Run till final. Next.
View report.
That view that report. Say what are the policies has been applied. Say one user is telling he's not getting USB drives. So by running this policy modeling wizard, by default that policy has been applied or restricted. We can get it from here. Scroll down, it shows all the policies, the results it shows. So for the troubleshooting, we would be using this policy modeling wizard we are using.
What else we have?
So we can search based on the computer level. Say that user level is okay. At the computer level, what are the policies we have? All those we can run it. It's going to simulate that. Okay, and even we have like some of the policies related to printing also. Means application is running on the Citrix remote server, but the user want to give the print locally. That client printers, all those also need to be like how it's going to connect. We have some of the policies related to printing and even which are related to UPM also. User profile management wise also, we have the policies. Those we'll discuss. I'll share one video for Citrix printing. Okay, so that's also just finish once. Okay, and just go through each and every policy settings. Go through once. Each and every policy settings, just go through once. Okay.
Okay.